What was your first job, and how old were you when you got it?
I must have still been 17, because I graduated when I was 17. And my first job was cleaning 20 operating rooms and 2 halls.
In a hospital?
A Catholic hospital. And it was 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. And I gained weight while I worked there because I was so thin. They kept, they were sisters in charge, you know, the nuns, and the sister down in the bakery, when I'd go down for stuff for the doctors, they always had coffee and rolls or something. She'd say, sit down and have a glass of milk while I get this ready and eat one of these rolls. And then when they got through serving the doctors, the other sister would say, well, sit down and have one of these rolls. Do you drink coffee? There's some left. And then I got my lunches for nothing.
Oh, yeah?
So, but they let me go because they said I was intelligent enough to get a good job, and there were girls, Catholic girls, who wouldn't and who could clean. So they let me go.
Got let go for being too smart.
Yeah.
How much did you make at that job?
I don't remember on that one. The first one I can remember was a little later, when we lived in Indiana. I worked for Woolworths and I got $10.89 a week. That's the first.
Was that for full time? Was it full time by today's standards, or 10 hours a day?
No,
7
not
days
10
a week?
hours a day there. But I worked in a gift shop. That's where I met your grandfather.
Yeah.
And I got $5 a week there.
So which one did you work first?
The hospital.
The hospital.
Yeah. And when I worked in the gift shop, that was in Indiana.
And that's where you met my grandfather?
Okay. We moved down to Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Our family in 1938, and I met him in 1939.
How old were you when you met?
I was 19.
19.
Got engaged just before I was 21, and got married when I was 24. He was gone 2 years.
Was that
that time?
Was that during the war that he was gone? That must have been a long time. And
it was, and it was pretty scary when he came back, wondering if we'd still feel the same. But it took us about half an hour to realize we did. Because his mother called me and had me come down when she found out he was coming home. So I was there too.
Did you live with his mother part of the time, or
winters,
all the time?
Yeah, while he was gone.
Oh.
2 winters.
How was that? That must have...
Horrible.
Living with your mother-in-law, and you're the only one there.
Well, yeah. She was kind of a difficult person to live with. And if you think about it, back then, can you imagine she'd been married 5 times? She couldn't get along with any of them. But to be married more than once back then was unusual, unless they died. Hers didn't. So she just couldn't get along with a lot of people. I made it, but it wasn't easy. The first year she wanted us to go to bed at 9 o'clock because she said she thought the baby was going. That's what she called Sam. Had to go to bed early when he was in the Navy. And then the next year when I was down there, she got mad if I went to bed before midnight because she liked to play cards late. And I had to get up at 4:30 and catch my ride, walk through the snow and catch my ride, and ride 20 miles to work.
Well, that must
defense plants.
And the defense plants? What did you make?
Well, I did riveting. 15 rivets on a radio receiver. I did punch presses. I did drill presses. All kinds of things. They moved me around on different jobs because I was fast. And the men did not like it when we came to work there at all. They were just as nasty as they could be to us. And one in particular had me on a job where I was just putting an oil brush in incendiary bombs. And they were not very big, about like that. and about this big around. And so the manager over the all 7 factories came in and stopped by me and said, "What are you doing here? You didn't tell me you were here." He was my uncle. And so I said, "Well, I just got a job and got here. I wasn't going to ask him to help me." And so the foreman came up and said, "What did he say to you?" I said, "Oh, we were just talking. He's my uncle." I got switched to a better job that day.
Wow.
But I'd work there in the winters, and then I'd go up and work in a defense plant in Michigan the rest of the year.
What did you make in the one in Michigan?
Made the there was something that went on a parachute the first year, and the last year I was inspecting bearings for Jeeps and trucks, for the service trucks and Jeeps. And I loved that job. I got paid way more, and I just sat at a big table and visited the whole time.
Which one paid more? The one
in Michigan, it always paid quite a bit more. I was making 75 cents an hour in Indiana and $1.25 in Michigan.
Wow, that's a lot more.
Yeah. So the third winter, I just didn't go down. I sent her money. I sent her coffee stamps and sugar stamps, even the shoe stamps. But I stayed home and worked.
Yeah. Were there more men or more women in the factories?
It's about half and half.
Half and half.
Yeah. Anybody who was 4F who couldn't pass the physical, and older men were in the factories. As well as a lot of women who never had worked before even, but wanted to work there. I liked it. I liked factory work because you didn't have to think about it when you left.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Got paid well, and I didn't find it boring at all. Some people do. To do the same thing over and over. That didn't bother me.